പ്രവാസി വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളുടെ പഠന വിഷയങ്ങളുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഭവൻസ് ഒരുക്കുന്ന ചർച്ചാ പരിപാടിയാണ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ടു ഹോം. വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളിലെ ആകുലതകളും പ്രയാസങ്ങളും ലഘൂകരിക്കുന്നതിന് വിവിധ വിഷയങ്ങളിൽ പ്രാവീണ്യം നേടിയിട്ടുള്ള അധ്യാപകർ നയിക്കുന്ന ചർച്ച കാണാം.
Welcome to yet another episode of Bhavan's Education to Home, an initiative of Bhavan's Middle East in association with Janam TV. Myself Alicia and John.
I am Rennie George.
I am Anthony Xavier.
We, the members of the Department of Mathematics, Bhavan's Kuwait, are here to share some important points that will give the students of grade 6 a glimpse of the mathematical concepts which they are going to learn throughout the year and how it is laying the foundation for pure math in coming higher grades. In grade 6, they learn the basics of number theory, algebra and geometry, which are the three main components in mathematics. These three branches are developed in higher grades. We would like to discuss on which areas students should focus more so that they can get rid of their math fear and can make their math learning more interesting. So, let's go through the syllabus of grade 6. Ms. Rennie will start with the first important lessons.
Thank you, Mrs. Alicia. The first three chapters of Class 6 Maths is purely based on numbers and their properties. Let me explain in detail in Chapter 1, that is knowing our numbers. Some of the subtopics are already learned in previous classes. This year, it will help the students to take their understanding of numbers a bit further. That is, use of brackets, rounding and estimating the sum, difference, product. Also, the applications of Roman numerals. In addition to this, word problem on all four operations on numbers took a major role in this chapter. This they have already experienced in previous classes, still it is challenging for them. Students need a regular practice to perform the calculation with speed and accuracy. Next, chapter 2, that is whole numbers. It started with successor, predecessor, number line and arithmetic operations on number line. All these concepts they have already learned in previous classes. In addition to this, there are two more new concepts included in this chapter. One, properties of whole numbers, such as closure property, commutative, associative and distributive property. Second, patterns. Actually, patterns started from class 1, continued to higher grade, which gives a strong base to learn arithmetic progression and geometric progression. With the help of chapter 2, we will take a step ahead to start chapter 3, that is playing with numbers. It gives the concepts of multiples and factors. It is a continuation of class 5. At the end of this chapter, students should be thorough with divisibility rules, prime numbers, composite numbers, LCM, HCF and prime factorization, which gives a strong foundation to learn exponents, square root, cube root in higher grades. Coming to chapter 4, that is basic geometrical ideas, the next branch of mathematics. Here, children enjoy to learn and also they can score more. It gives a series of geometric terms which holds extreme importance in higher grades. It gives the concepts of point, line, line segments, ray, angles, different shapes, polygons, circle and different parts of a circle. Next, chapter 5, understanding elementary shapes, which gives the groundwork for geometry. It elaborates the concepts of angles, different types of angles and triangles, different types of triangles. Towards the end, there is a short section on 3D shapes. Now, Mr. Anthony will continue the details of the next few chapters.
Thank you, Mrs. Rennie. I am very happy to introduce you the next chapter, integers. Integers are the numbers where it includes positive and negative numbers along with 0. Children will be very happy to know 0 is neither a positive nor a negative number. children are also able to locate these integers on the number line. In higher grades, I see many children are struggling to add and subtract, especially with the integers. So it is very important for the students to know how to add and subtract two integers, especially when they have two different signs. So they use symbol tables, sign table, like when we are adding positive number with a positive number, they get positive number. When they add two negative numbers, they do have negative answers. When they are going to add positive number with a negative number, they will just to look for the greater number, subtract the smaller number and place the sign of the greater number. So this is very, very important. This particular concept has to be taught to them very clearly. In addition to this, we have chapter 7, which talks about fractions. Fractions are part of the whole, are part of the group. So children, any number that is written in the form of p by q is known as fractions. So this number can be easily located on the number line. Children also learn the different types of fractions, proper fractions, improper fractions and mixed fractions. Children are able to perform the operations by making the denominators equal. To make the denominators equal, as you said, we can take the LCM. So children learn the method of taking LCM and do the operations easily. In continuation to this, we have decimals, chapter 8. So decimals are very, very important in day-to-day life. Children are able to use these decimals in counting money and measuring the length, distance, heights. So it is one of the very, very important chapters where children have to learn very clearly so that they can apply this knowledge of decimals in future. We do have chapter 9 as data handling. Data is a piece of information. It is collected in the form of numerical values. Children are able to collect the data, analyze them, and they are able to organize them in the form of a tally marks, or they are able to visualize it as a pictogram, or they are able to represent it on the graph as bar graphs, a double bar graph, histogram, likewise. And it takes them to the next level of learning statistics and probability in the higher grades. The last 10th topic that I would like to discuss with you here is menstruation. As already we have discussed about 2D shapes and 3D shapes, children will be able to find the measurements like perimeter, they are able to find the area of different figures, they are able to analyze and they are able to discriminate between different figures, where they have to take perimeters, where they have to take that circumference, or how they are able to relate the concepts of measuring the different sides with the different shapes. So 2D shapes and 3D shapes will be explained in higher grades. Here they learn the basic formulae to express this. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Alisha.
Thank you, sir. I would like to discuss about the last 4 lessons. The last 4 lessons are algebra, ratio and proportion, symmetry and practical geometry. Algebra, it's an important topic in mathematics and they start this topic in grade 6. The fundamental feature of algebra is using letters, which paves the way to compose main equations, formulae and rules. This topic is crucial as it is a prerequisite for advanced mathematics and it is an essential subject to consider. So far we have focused on numbers, operations on numbers, properties of numbers, etc. But now students start to use letters or variables along with numbers. And the best approach to have a good understanding of algebra is to solve all the questions given in the NCERT coursebook. And the next chapter is ratio and proportion. Ratio and proportion introduces the concept of comparison of quantities, establishing of equivalent ratios and solving for unknown quantities. This topic is significant as the comparison of quantities and solving for unknown quantities are an essential subject to consider. Ratio and proportion has a variety of applications in everyday life. They are used to solve problems like measuring distance, length, heights, weights, time, adding ingredients to a recipe, etc. And the next chapter is symmetry. Symmetry introduces its concept through its presence in everyday life, and this is a key component of geometry. Symmetry is started in grade 3 and the students understand about the role of a line symmetry and how the line of symmetry is closely related with mirror reflection, and the concept of symmetry is extended to higher grades. Coming to the last chapter, it's practical geometry. Practical geometry deals with drawing of geometrical shapes, and it is the basics of advanced geometry. And the practical geometry covers all the concepts required for all examinations. So when the students come to an end of grade 6, students will be thorough with the mathematical concepts which are required for higher grades, and they have to solve all the questions given in the NCERT course book to make all the concepts thorough and for a good understanding of the subject. So with this we come to an end of our panel discussion. Before we sign off, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude on behalf of this panel to Janam TV and the management of Bhavan's Middle East. Thank you.
കുവൈറ്റ് ജനത്തിൻ്റെ ഈ അധ്യായം ഇവിടെ പൂർണ്ണമാകുന്നു. ഏറ്റവും പുതിയ വിശേഷങ്ങളുമായി അടുത്തയാഴ്ച വീണ്ടും കാണാം. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.
Kuwait Janam brought you